first thing I would like to mention. And if this is your very first time joining us at Kleinial, it's still going to be an amazing one. That's the second thing I would like to mention. Okay, so today we're going to explore what really are digital currencies. What do they mean? What do they do? And how can you also get a slice of the cake by getting into the world of digital currency and all of that? So how can you actually do that? We're going to explore that. We'll also take a look at what does forex analysis actually mean, or what does spot analysis actually mean, and then we are also going to have fun. So, two things we are doing today. The first, we're exploring digital currencies. The second, we are understanding what spot analysis means or what forex analysis means. And then the third, we're going to have fun. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to have an amazing time. And just to confirm that everyone is with me, just to confirm that we are all on the same page, just to confirm that we are all on the same wavelength, the same frequency, I would like us to communicate. And when I say communicate, what do I mean? I mean that you can use the reactions, you can use the chat box, because of course everyone might not be able to unmute and speak, so we don't have a ruckus. Okay, but for you to have an amazing time, what I need from you, I need you to send responses. Probably send the one to the chat box so you can give me some reactions, just like Ayo has done. Thank you very much, Ayo. All right, good to know that Ayo is with me. Good to know that Clinton's with me. Fantastic. Paul, what about you? Eugene, what about you? Just give me some reactions, just to ensure that we are together. Because for you to be able to get the total package from this session, we need to communicate. So if you can't find the reactions, okay, if you can't find the reactions, all you need to do, look for that emoji. It's like an emoji, like an emoji face. Okay, so just tap on that and you see different reactions. So you can send a comment to the chat box. Okay, so I know that we are on the same page and that we are flowing, that we are together. Okay, thank you very much, Ayo. Thank you very much, Clinton, for that. Thank you so much. So I think we can move on, although I would like to get more responses though. Hello, Paul, are you with me? Are you there, Paul? Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much, Eugene. So Eugene has just confirmed that, yeah, I'm live and I'm direct. Okay, and also John. I don't think you've heard from John as well, but we're going to have a great time. We're going to have an amazing time. So I'm going to pull up my screen right now so we take a look at the topic that we are going to be exploring. So I can see John's hands is raised. I believe that's supposed to be a reaction as, okay, yes, I'm with you. Okay, so thank you very much, John. So reactions, for you to get reactions, just take a look at the emoji. You're going to see an emoji icon on either your PC or if you're using your phone, any of them. And once you click on that emoji, you see a series of reactions, from the hearts to the thumbs up to the confetti, and you can choose whichever you choose. Okay, so yeah, good to know that that's here with us, and we're going to take questions. Okay, at the end of the session, we're going to take questions. So if maybe you have questions, and when I say questions, I mean any and every question relating to forex, relating to spot, relating to crypto, you just want to have an understanding of what all of this is about, just know that we're going to be taking questions as well. So what you need to know about digital currencies, that's what we are exploring. But first and first, what is Kleinial? Who is Kleinial? How is Kleinial? Which is Kleinial? Okay, so what really is Kleinial about? What do we do? If this is the first time you're joining us, this is probably the first time you've heard of Kleinial. So Kleinial is a network company that is dedicated to ensuring you get into forex, you get into crypto, you get into Web3 the right way. The reason why we started the organization is that we noticed that out there, when people look to get into the space, when people look to transition to learn the crypto skill or learn the forex skill, and I say transition for a reason. I choose my words carefully. The reason I say transition is because forex, you're getting into forex, but you want to be a trader, you want to be a forex analyst, or you're getting into crypto, you want to be a crypto analyst, you want to be a spot analyst. It's actually a tech skill. It's a tech skill. It's like when people say, I want to transition, I want to learn tech, I want to learn tech. You learning those things, actually a tech skill. But we notice that people out there, they don't really teach this the way it should be taught. You see things like, oh, I just got into crypto yesterday, and 2 days later, I made $5 million, and I've been able to buy 2 cars. I have 2 Lamborghinis. I have 2 houses. And if you're not getting into crypto, if you don't have money, you don't know what you're doing, you're not a real man, or you're not a real woman, you see things like that online. And that's only people just trying to push the hype. okay, pushing the hype, when that's not what crypto, that's not what forex is all about. It's a whole lot more. It's a tech skill, like I said. It's an investment. So when you're looking to get into the space, you need to understand the skills. You need to understand the tools. You're not just putting money there to buy coins. No, there's a whole lot more involved. It's just like if you say you want to be a web developer, for instance, there are certain skills you need. You need to understand languages such as your HTML. You need to understand languages such as your CSS or your Python, and maybe your Django if you are into front and back end, or you have to understand your React, that's your JavaScript library. You're not just gonna go to bed one night and then wake up and say, "Oh, you're a web developer." And that's still the same case for forex analysis and for crypto analysis. But people really don't understand. Because for one, I actually fell into that trap as well when I was looking to get into crypto. So I was looking to invest. I had some money and I lost a lot of money because there was no place I could learn. Everything I was saying was, oh, join my Telegram community. It was always Telegram. Okay, join my Telegram community. Join this Telegram. I don't know what's up with Telegram, but it was always Telegram. So join my Telegram community. Join my Telegram community, and then there's no real way to learn. Maybe there might be a Telegram call, but there's really no learning platform like this. Like maybe you're going to school where you are on the call, you have the facilitator is teaching, nothing like that. Okay, and that's the reason why we started Kleino. We wanted to be able to bridge that gap that currently exists for people, especially people between the ages of, let's say, 25, 30, 35, 40, millennials, people that have their own 9 to 5, people that have their own day-to-day. And so also trying to get into the space where the Kleino is a place that they can come to, learn the skills, and achieve their goals. And most time the goals being able to generate another stream of income that's getting a passive income in addition to your 9 to 5. So that's what Kleino is all about. That's the reason why we started Kleino, and that's what we are here to achieve. And of course, we've been able to get some things done, having trained a number of people, and of course, these persons have been able to understand what it means to be a forex analyst, and now forex analyst, and now sports analyst, and also have another stream of income. I'm Aisha Sagmalaho, and I'm the founder of Kleino. And with me, I also have Quentin, the co-founder, and he's going to be taking us through everything we need to know about digital currencies. So once it's done with the serious part, I'm going to come back in. I'll come back in, and then we'll have some fun. I'm a fun guy, okay? So once Quentin is done with the digital currencies and all of that, I'll come back in, and then we'll have some fun. We'll explore what sport is, what forex is, how you can get started, and most importantly, we'll have some fun. Okay, thank you, everyone. Clinton, I believe you're good to go.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Hope we're all doing fine. Uh, Kindly join me. I present my screen. All right. On to today's masterclass, we're going to be talking about the topic: what you need to know about digital currencies. And like my colleague has already done the introduction, my colleague already did the introduction about planning who we are, what we do, what we stand for, how we can help you begin, and how we can help you navigate across your journey in digital currencies. So, moving on to the topic of today, and we have a subtopic titled "Where to Start from in Digital Currency." So, this isn't going to be like every other um, every other class whereby we try to define what blockchain is, try to break down what Bitcoin is, the origin of Bitcoin. This topic were curated from interaction with our community, and a lot of people said um, have an issue of like with where to start off their journey in digital currencies. So today we're here to break that down step by step and get you from a curious mind to a confident mind, understanding the basics. So this is a foundational step that involves knowing the meaning of terms, where you start from. Before you get into anything, you want to know what it means. Like, just like when you want to buy a car, you have a brand, you check about that brand. That's you basically doing your research. So in this time in crypto, you heard what cryptocurrency, what's it about, what's spoiling it. You start with the definition of what cryptocurrency is, of which we have touched previously. So it's not just about knowing the definition of it. What is it used for? How can I access it? Where can I get it? And you come across different terms in the space, and it jogs your mind, like, what does this mean? Like, wag me and all that. Like, is it something that I should actually put my arms around? Is it something that is very important that I have to know the meaning? Like, by the time you jump into understanding the basics by learning the terms of the space, you get to know that which is important and that which is not really relevant, but just for the hype and for the fun. Like, we have WAGMI, and we have a lot of other terms which WAGMI stands for, we are going to make it. So by the time you know these terms and can differentiate them, you know what you are here for, where you are starting from, like the basics which every beginner in digital currency, in cryptocurrency must know. You must understand the blockchain. You must know what cryptocurrency is, because you're not just going to be using it for you. Imagine you tell people that you invest in cryptocurrency and someone throws you off that. It's like, what's cryptocurrency? You should be able to define what cryptocurrency means. Then, even down to knowing what the term digital currency is, you need to know that, okay, yes, digital currency, my money available in digital form, not physical form. Anything digital is not physically presented. So understanding these things, that, okay, yes, this is where it starts from, this is where I have access to it. And by the time you can explain to people, that's like the beginning of you understanding the basics. By the time you understand basics, then we move on to setting up your digital wallets. That is creating a secure place for you to store your digital money. It's not just about saying, okay, yes, you are informed about it. Yes, okay, how do you get it? For you to be able to get these digital currencies, you ought to know where you can store them. You have to have a secure place that works for you. Like, this is considered a step two, and it is a really important step, because how else would you buy and store your digital currencies without a digital wallet? And there are different forms of digital wallets, and they include centralized wallets. Our centralized wallets include our Binance wallets. What basically our wallets found on centralized exchanges. We have OKEx wallets, we have our Binance wallets, we have Bybit wallets, Bexi wallets. As far as it's a centralized exchange, a global exchange that you are aware about, any crypto, any digital currency stored on those platforms, they are stored on your centralized wallets. They also have your decentralized wallets like MetaMask, Trust wallets, um, Ravi wallets. There are lots of decentralized wallets, and some of you might even be familiar with your Ton wallet. Your Ton Keeper wallet is a decentralized wallet which you use to store currencies on the Ton blockchain. Then we have your hardware wallets. Your hardware wallets mostly um, are cold wallets, which are not directly connected to the internet, and these are much safer and are used by people who picture their investment long term. They don't want to be seeing it, as in they don't want it to just be on their device. Like, by the time they are having FOMO, like fear of missing out, they just see, and they'll just be able to like sell it instantly. Storing your cryptocurrency in a hardware wallet is like keeping it in a vault in an offshore account that you know the process of getting your money out. It's not the same as just entering your mobile app and just selling it. So, and it's a more secure platform because most times when they are hacked on maybe a centralized wallet, a centralized exchange, or a decentralized wallet, because most times decentralized wallets can be compromised not just out of thin air. They can be compromised when you interact with phishing links. We'll get to all those places. Those are the risks involved when you interact with phishing links, when you share your private key or your seed phrases out to someone without even knowing what they are. So basically, understanding, like we said in the first slide, understanding the basics. The basics involve the rules. Like by the time you know what your private key is, part of the terms that you should be aware about. By the time you know what your private key is, what your secret phrases are, what they do, and what they mean to you, you wouldn't just go around and give anybody your private key because you know how important that is to you. So really, by understanding the terms first of all, like definition of terms, that is really the ground base. That's really the starting point for anything you want to do in digital currencies. So, and when setting up your wallet, it is important to set up a two-factor authenticator for your centralized wallet, and remember to write down your recovery phrases. Your recovery phrases are also known as your um, private, your seed phrases. So you need to store them down in a secure location where no one else has access to it but you. And most times people tend to write this down in books, and storing them in books are not really that adequate because lots of things can happen to paper nowadays. I mean, you are dealing in a digital world. You are dealing with digital currency, so a lot of stuff are stored in digital form, and there are lots of applications today that provide a way for you to store and secure your information without any other person accessing it apart from you, except you grant access to them. Like we have our Google Keep. A lot of people store things in Google Keep, and no one else has access to their Google Keep unless they release their Google password and Google accounts to another person. So, backing up your wallet, your centralized wallet with a 2FA is second factor authenticator. This is basically, aside your password, you need something else because someone can carry your phone, or let's say someone had logged in on your account on another phone, and definitely that person knows your password. That's how the person was able to log in on another phone. So by the time that person logs in on another phone and decides to start a transaction by maybe sending out your assets without your permission, your two-factor authenticator, this is where it comes in. He has put your password. Another pin is required. Okay, let's say now your email too. Shared, these are like cybersecurity tips being shared with you. Let's say you use the same email password as your centralized account password. So okay, your email also has been compromised. So this 2FA, this is where it comes in handy because your 2FA, whether or not it's is this Google account you use to create it, you have to import your this thing, your keys from your two-factor authenticator to another device. It doesn't just go automatically when you sign in on Google. So that's where your 2FA comes in important because okay, now they are initiating a transaction, they can't get your 2FA, and your 2FA, there are different forms of two-factor authenticator. We have Google authenticator, we have I think Apple has theirs. Various companies, there are different products for two-factor authenticators. So it's very important to set it up because it's a second layer of security aside your email and your normal password. It's a second layer of security which renews. It's not just It's the password, the pin changes every 60 seconds. That's how tight the security is. So it's very important to set that up when setting up your centralized wallets. Even some decentralized wallets now have, have the option to activate a two-factor authenticator. So after setting up your wallet, after choosing your wallet preference, and let's say now you want to start trading, you have to choose a reputable exchange. This is very important. You have to know which interface works for you. You have to know, okay, yes, this is the exchange that people use. Not a lot of people use this exchange. By the time you know your terms from beginning, like volume, what is order book, like you already know what all these things are, how the market flows. You need an exchange with a good order book. That is, it doesn't take time for price to feel your market price. You set an order, you set a limit order, also a term you need to know before jumping in. You set a limit order that is setting a particular price for a token to be bought or to be sold. By the time you set it, you know it can easily be filled because there are lots of people transacting on this exchange. So, and when it comes to choosing a reputable exchange, the number one exchange that comes to mind, no matter how new or how old you are, everybody knows Binance. Binance has been one of the front runners when it comes to cryptocurrency buying and selling. Although before before a lot of us were exposed to Binance, we had our local exchanges like we had Quidax and we had Luno, which you can see them at the bottom of the list. And the reason now these exchanges are not really not really top notch and not really what comes to mind first for people is they fail to adjust. Not all cryptocurrencies are available on Luno and Quidax. And when it comes to following the trend, they are really behind the trend. So, but as for your Binance, your OKEX, your BitGet, your Mexi, your Bybit, Kraken and Coinbase are not really available for Nigerian users or African users. They are more based in the US. So, but they are planning on expanding. That's why you see they are not on the top of the list. So, you need to choose an exchange which is available for your country, your continent, and has a good reputation in the sense that you deposit your cryptocurrency, there's no delay. You want to sell, there's no delay. You want to buy, there's no delay. Everything is flowing. There, you don't suffer impermanent loss, or you don't suffer slippage losses when you are swapping. Slippage is another term you need to learn because when swapping your cryptocurrencies, when you are trading them, because the difference in price at when you sell, if let's say you're selling at market price now, the market price tends to feel every other person's price there like an average. It averages every person's price there and fills it up and gives you your money. So if the other book you do not understand how this works, and these are a lot of things we are going to be teaching you here at Final because they are very important. There are times where okay, you have a coin, let's say you have ADA, Cardano, or Solana, let's say Solana, because a lot of us are familiar with Solana. Let's say you have um, one Solana and you're using an exchange like um Bitmart. Bitmart is not here because it's not really one of my favorite exchanges to use because they have a very poor order book. So let's say you set your Solana to sell at market price and their order book, you are saying, okay, somebody is selling at 140 and the price of Solana is actually like 130. You see someone selling at someone willing to buy at 120, 122, 125, and you know that the price of Solana is 130, and you've you okay normally now you know that okay you want to instantly sell this, you have to put this in market price. By the time you put that in market price, it will feel that order of 122, 125 instead of filling an order of 130 to give you your actual amount, which one Solana cost, which is $130. Instead, you end up getting like 125, 126. And as you can see, you've lost $4. Why? Because you don't really understand what's going on in the other book, and you didn't understand what another book was because you didn't understand the basic term. You didn't start by learning. So here at Line, we're here to do everything for you, everything that is needed. So choosing a reputable exchange, that's an exchange which the other book is good. Binance has a very marvelous order book. So does OKEx and BitGet along with Mexi. But as you see this sending down the line, that's how good they are. The first I would recommend for anybody would be Binance. So moving on, after choosing your reputable exchange, after selecting an exchange, focus on learning process, the processes by testing out transactions with a low amounts. As when it comes to low amounts, any amount is applicable. But now some exchanges actually have an amount called minimum buy and minimum sell. So like exchanges like Binance now, they have a minimum buy of $5. That's why I put $5 there as a low amount. Some exchanges like Mexi, you can go lower than $5. You can use as low as $2, $1 to interact with the platform to see the features and understand it. So after choosing a reputable exchange, you need to this is all part of how you start your journey in digital currencies. So the next step after learning basics, setting up a wallet, choosing a reputable exchange, now you need to learn how it fits in your life. Like it's not just about trading, it's about freedom and access and options. So you need to have these options whereby okay, the first says get paid in crypto for international clients if you are a freelancer or remote workers. A lot of people have this issue. Previously, before companies started developing apps that are like third parties for payments, international payments, a lot of people had issues creating domiciliary accounts that is receiving money for pay for their work. A lot of people use Upwork, and that was a really big barrier for lots of people getting an account to receive a foreign amounts of money. So a lot of people tend to depend on other people that already had an account, and that's not what digital currency is about. As you can see, it's about freedom, whereby you have access to controlling your money, not depending on someone. You can easily create a wallet. This is learning how basically it fits into your life. You can create a wallet and okay, you discuss terms with your clients. Okay, you receive payments like this other payment means it's not available. Okay, then you guys come to an agreement. Your money is transferred to your wallet, whether cheaper cash or any of those, depending on what you're dealing with. Because digital currency is not only cryptocurrencies. Let's face facts. As long as the money is in your in a wallet, it's digital because a lot of like we discussed previously on CBDCs as centralized bank digital currencies. So a lot of countries have already embraced that, whereby you have the digital yen, you have um, stable coins. Stable coins, some platforms are already integrating them. Like we have our PayPal. PayPal supports stable coins like USDC and USDT aside the normal fiat USD. So step number two, explore blockchain development if you are into tech. Lots of people are curious of what Web3 is, what blockchain is, and you're already day, our day-to-day Web2 developer. You create websites, you create front end, you're a front end developer, you're a back end developer, or you are both. So there is a full stack developer. So now a lot of opportunities are open in Web3. A lot of jobs, not just your average site that you create for advertisements or for a restaurant. Now you actually get to explore a whole other field of tech, learn new languages, new programming languages, because in blockchain development now there are specific languages that I know for certain Node.js, Rust, specifically Rust. Rust is used a lot in a lot of developments. So if you're a curious developer, this is how you see digital currencies fit into your life. You see that, okay, yes, I'm curious about this tech. You want to dive into it, see opportunities in it. You digital currencies involving Web3 as a whole, Web3, digital currencies and Web3, they are together. Web3, digital currency is a part of Web3, whether you like it or not. It's the internet money, whereby financial freedom, it's about access, you controlling your stuff, your money. So number three, you have convert parts of your savings into stable coins if you want to save or hedge against inflation. And this is very important because a lot of us, we are workers, and you can't just call yourself your earning salary. A lot of us, our eyes have been open today that, okay, yes, I have to save. And people are no longer, if you check it, only like, yes, majority are still saving in their country's currency, but few are adjusting to the trend of the digital world, whereby, okay, yes, they are aware of what stable coins are, and yes, stable coins can actually help you escape your country's inflation. Like Nigeria now, that the inflation is really high, lots of people convert their money into USDT or USDC. So when dollar is going up, their money is actually going up, their savings are going up, like an investment, a really safe investment option, if you would ask me. Because once you have savings, you want to, okay, see, not about just having savings. If you want to invest, the starting place for the investments, usually your starting point for you exploring digital currencies, let's say whether you want to buy stocks, you want to buy cryptocurrencies, you want to buy anything digital, you have to have your money in fiat or stable coins. You save your money, the money you are willing to invest. You first save it as stable coins or cryptocurrencies because it's very important. So while your money is being stored in USDT or USDC, depending when you are doing your research for a project you want to invest in, and inflation hits your country, it doesn't affect your money because now dollar goes up, your savings goes up. So the fourth point is use crypto for faster, cheaper transactions if you send or receive money across borders. Yes, this is very important. Cross-border transactions, like just like point one, with dealing with international clients. You have a loved ones. You have loved ones rather. Permit me. You have loved ones abroad, and you want to send them money, and you see the process is quite long. It's not just about going to the bank, they start asking you for documents, they start asking you for, okay, this person's passport, this person's visa, this person's international accounts, and you have to convert your money from naira first to dollar, all this kind of stuff. Then using word remit to send money across, you'll be deducted a fee. And digital currencies, cryptocurrencies, if you permit me to use, these cryptocurrencies are making this far easier, faster, and cheaper. Imagine sending money to your relative in Russia within five 5 seconds. The person has received it, and how much did this person spend? Less than a cent. A lot of currencies like XRP, XLM. This is what they are here for. They are here for cross-border transactions, and a lot of banks like we have. I'm not sure about the particular bank in the US that plans to adopt XRP for the banking system. It's going to be huge because XRP's transaction speed is really fast, so is XLM, and the transaction fee is really low. Imagine spending less than 10 naira. Nowadays, your bank charge you up to how much? How much do they charge for just maybe using dialing USSD, you get charged like 6 naira. Imagine spending less than that to even send somebody money over overseas. So now the fifth point is use crypto to build digital skills and financial literacy if you are a student or just learning. This is really an opportunity for your young ones because they are going to they are the next generation, whether you like it or not. They are, there's nobody too big and there's nobody too small to like teach you and show you how to use tech. Nowadays, a lot of small children are even showing their parents how to use their phone, like games that they play, a lot of apps that children use on their phone got their parents fascinated. So when you see students learning digital skills and financial literacy, whether you like it or not, you being here, you're learning a lot about your finances because earlier we discussed about saving and how it helps saving in stable coins and how it helps to hedge against inflation. Now you know that okay, yes, actually I have this money somewhere. Yes, instead of it getting devalued, I can actually to convert it easily. You don't have to go to the bank or you don't have to go to the black market to get your dollar. You can create your wallets today. You can do your KYC today. You can easily get access to your stable coins. And you're seeing it in your wallet. Nobody's moving it when you want it, as long as you know how to sell, how to convert it back to your fiat, which we are here to teach you. It's a very easy step. You're making money by just leaving your money in another this, country's currency to avoid inflation against your naira. So digital currencies just are not just about getting rich. They are about taking control of your money and unlocking opportunities no matter your hustle. Whether you be in tech, it has a path for you. Whether you're a freelancer, it has a path for you. Whether you're a student, it has paths for you. So whether you want to, you're not even a worker, but okay, you're a caring relative that wants to send money across border to your family member, or you want to do business across border, learning how digital currency fits for you. It's one of the steps that is now you can't just say, okay, I don't know where to start from. What do you want to use it to do? Fa- Looking at this, one of these points, maybe you are not a tech guy, you are not into freelancing, but everybody saves, whether you like it or not. Everybody wants to save, everybody wants to invest, everybody wants their money to grow, and everybody wants their money to work for them. So whether you like it or not, a lot of us fall under category three, which want to convert part of our savings into stable coins and hedge against inflation. So our fourth point, or rather today, another subheading we're going to be facing is how to tackle the fear of losing money in digital currency. This was the second most voted point in our community. The first was where to start from. Then the next was scared of losing money. People are afraid of losing money. Even me, I'm afraid of losing money. And you being scared of losing money isn't a bad thing. It just shows that you are informed because without that, you are actually just going to be dabbling into anything you come across, and that is way more. That is way worse because even something you are not aware of, because all these things have flows. By the time you know where how it fits, how digital currency fits for you, you won't just enter anything and put your money inside and face the challenge, face the risk of losing it all. Knowing the basics, understanding the basic terminologies, having a wallet, having a reputable exchange, and what was the previous learning where it fits or how it fits in your life. These are really important for you to know. Then you now learn how to tackle your fear. So now the goal is not to avoid risk completely, but to learn how to manage it. And as you can see, I've set out ways for you to manage your risk. So number one, But one is risk management. When it comes to managing risk, risk management is a topic being taught. It's a topic we will teach. It's a topic we will continue to teach because people do tend to forget because a lot of things in space. A lot of people are crowded by emotions of fear and greed. And once you get greedy, the truth is, once either of those two um, either of those two emotions are mixed up in your head while making decisions, you do not manage your risk properly. So risk management is something very important. You need to know, okay, yes, I'm making an investment from whether your savings or even out of your savings, you're making an investment. This thing, part of risk management, part of risk management involves you doing your research. Yes, doing your research, whether you like it or not, is you managing your risk, knowing what you're putting your money into. By the time you know what you're putting your money into, then you now decide, okay, yes, I know this. This is how much I'm willing to risk. This is how much I'm willing to invest in this. And you putting that particular amount is not just okay, yes, I'm throwing money into this, whether I go or not. No, you can also still manage your risks of that money you decided to put to invest. Okay, you decide to buy. Let's take for example, we're trading now. You decide to buy um Solana. Let's keep on using Solana since we've started with it. You decide to buy Solana. You bought Solana at $100, and okay, no, recently Solana did to about $95, and you decided you saw that as an opportunity because of your research and how you've seen volume or transactions on Solana. Because a lot of new coins are launched daily, hourly, every second new coins are launched on Solana with a lot of liquidity, thereby increasing the volume on the chain itself. Okay, so now you decide, yes, I want to invest in Solana. You got an opportunity when the market gave you presented an opportunity when it went down as low as 95. So you decided to enter, you bought one Solana. You just buy one Solana now. It's not that okay, yes, I have one Solana, ride or die, whether it goes up or down, I am holding this thing. Okay, yes, that's your conviction. Quite all right. But do you know that Solana could drop to about $80 and you still be in it and you'll be like, okay, there about you lost about $15, you'd be like, okay, no, up or down. That's not you managing your risk. By the time you have an entry and an exit, your exit for your loss called your stop loss, where the price has gotten to and it has eaten your money and you're like, once it's reached this amount of loss, I'm leaving this market. Once it's reached this amount of profit, I'm leaving this market. That's your take profit. Okay, now so market reached $80, you lost about 15. You decide to leave. And price now presented itself at lower than $80, maybe $60. You see, that there is risk management. You prevented yourself from losing more than $15. So now that's another opportunity for you to invest. If you got it at $60, you're now able to buy one Solana at $60, saving your remaining $20 that you'd have lost. So this is how risk management works. Now, from that $60 now gets to your target of maybe 150. You see, okay, maybe it's 15. But by the time you enter the second time, due to your risk management, you enter the second time, you are at 150 now. You've gained back that your 15 that you lost, and you've gained back more profit. And you still get back 20. It didn't cost you as much to get one Solana anymore. So that's where risk management is very, very important. So the next step is reinforcing your security. Reinforcing your security. We talked about two-factor authenticator previously when setting up your centralized wallet. It's very, very important. You have to reinforce because a lot of money that is being lost today is due to hacks, due to carelessness of individuals being exposed without even knowing. That's why we also discuss knowing the basics, understanding terminologies in this space. So your wallet phrase, which phrase got leaked, your private key got leaked, or it got leaked by you interacting with phishing links sent to through your emails. And how does this phishing links actually work? They tend to entice people. They are actually phishing you into using them because they'll be like, you have so amounts to claim. Money that you didn't keep somewhere, you want to go and claim. You end up clicking the link and connecting your wallet. You see, by the time you click the link now and connect your wallet, your money inside, maybe because those phishing links they don't just work that okay, they are back end codes whereby it exposes your secret phrase or your private key or exposes the private key of that wallet that connects to them. So that's a whole lot of another angle. And there are a lot of ways risks are not permanently terminated. What they are managed daily. Products are created to manage risks, not to cut them out. So you actually need to reinforce your security and it's still actually a part of managing your risk to avoid losing money. By the time you have this knowledge on how to manage your money, how to reinforce your security, your fear is reducing. So the next is dollar cost averaging. This is a skill. This is something you learn from us as you proceed with us because it's not just about buying an asset at the current price with your savings all at once. You have a declining market. By the time we teach you technical analysis now, you see, okay, yes, the market is undergoing a downtrend, or maybe in the lower time frame, yes, the lower time frame, the market is undergoing a downtrend. But in the higher time frame, like the weekly time frame now, you're seeing the market is still bullish, a lot bullish. So inside the lower tier, if you are seeing opportunities to buy as the market is going lower. So this is where your dollar cost average comes in. Dollar cost average involves buying, investing at an average price of an asset. Buying, let's say, buy, we are still using Solana, you buy Solana at 120, it drops to 110. You not just one, as in you want to buy one. So maybe you buy a bit of Solana like 0.2 at 120, it drops to 110, you buy 0.2 again, you buy, it drops again, you buy. So by the time it actually gets to that weekly time frame support, or that region which tends to cause it to reverse, you by the time you calculate all the prices at which you bought, it will average in points. It will not be that first at that first price that you bought it. It will be like at a midpoint, the average of all those five. Maybe you bought it 5 times. Be at the average of that 5 times you bought it, and that will be the price you bought your one Solana as. So by the time prices are going up, it will now be that midpoint is your entry point, no longer the first point. And this is very tactical because it prevents a lot of loss at the end of the day. It's a way to prevent loss in the market. Number four, starting with stablecoins. Starting with stablecoins is really important. It's really important. You don't just fund your wallets directly by buying. If you want to buy Bitcoin, the best advice I'll give you is you buy your stablecoin first because you buying directly from your bank for a pair very volatile as Bitcoin, it's not just going to end up, it's not going to end good if you ask me. Because let's say you are buying, by the time you set the transaction in your bank and before they confirm the transaction, you intended to buy Bitcoin at 84,000. Before everything was confirmed, Bitcoin price was already 85. So at that 85, they'll give you your Bitcoin. So that's why it's important to start with stable coins. You fund, you save stable coins first before you make your investments. But whether you're buying stocks too, you also need to using the Bamboo app, like we're going to teach you how to make. We're also going to teach you how to buy stocks and how to make wise investments. So now you fund your stock wallets, whether with your country's currency, your fiat, or you can fund it with another country's fiat. There's a conversion rate. So that is you funding it with a stable currency against what you actually want to buy. before buying it, before actually settling down to buy it. Because just like the stock market opens when on Monday late on Monday morning. So before your order is actually processed from your bank, if you are buying directly, there's a lot of setbacks. So next is identifying and avoiding scams. Yes, this is very important in this space. A lot of people lost money in the previous week in the Ponzi scheme called CBEX. And what is so common and what's the easiest way to identify Ponzi schemes? They tend to draw you in with your greed. They tend to promise you something that seems too good to be true. Imagine me telling you in our community, bring your money to me by next week. I will give you times 10 of it. Or save your money with me by next week, you get 50% return. And you're looking at that. A lot of companies, even when you are investing in the S&P 500 of that is the top 500 companies in the US, they don't give up to even they don't give up to 10% return yearly, and you want to get that within a week. You ask yourself, where are these people getting the money from? It sounds too good to be true. So by the time you know how these things work, it easily helps you identify and prevent scams before you put your money into it. Anything that involves a triangle system of, okay, um for you to get this, you have to bring like five people. Imagine if you now somebody brought you into a system whereby he calls it a rewarding system. After bringing you now, he has gotten his reward. But you now, you still have to go and bring five people before you will now get your reward. It's not looking promising. It's not that's the triangle, the pyramid system of a Ponzi scheme, and that doesn't work good. So knowing this ahead of time, knowing how to identify them, by the time you see promises that are robbing your greed, that are like they're making you want to put money and put more money other than the first one you put, or making you don't want to take your money when you see chance to take your money, man, you need to run because that's the way to identify and avoid scams. And a lot of people, if they knew that they wouldn't have like fallen for this is not the first time. We had MMM, we had CBEX, we had Racksteady, we had a lot of Ponzi schemes, and people keep falling victim for them with their money. So this the path to digital currencies, you tend to grow your money steadily at a rate that doesn't seem too good to be true because you have done your research. You know, okay, I'm investing in S&P 500, top 500 companies in the US. Okay, yes, this is actually promising with a return of about 7% annually. Okay, yes, if my money, I'm compounding is a very big deal that is neglected nowadays. You're compounding your savings by investing in S&P 500 and your money is increasing 7% yearly. Okay, that money that increased, you still added money to it. So that's the way compounding works. So now the money you added to it plus the money you received annually from last year is still there, and you're getting 7% again of it this year. Can you see your money is growing steadily without you panicking that okay, what is the product today? What's these companies have been here since even before they gave birth to us, and they have not run away with our money, and they are not giving us promises that sound too good to be true. We're not investigating them and asking where is their money coming from. So having this knowledge of things are really important, and they will reduce your fear of losing money in digital currencies. So in conclusion, your digital currency journey starts now. We have covered a lot from where to start from to how to tackle your fears. But here is the truth. You don't need to become a trader, a techie, or a millionaire overnight. Like I said, you just need to be smart. Start with what you know, protect what you have, really important. So when fear is not a bad thing, but you need to know where that fear is aimed at. That fear is for protecting what you have. then you have to keep learning at your pace. You have to keep learning. New terms are coming out. You want to know what this term is so that you'll be able to apply it. So that's how it works. As basic as just a word is, it's quite scary how you not knowing what the definition of another profits how it's going to affect you in losing money. I gave an example earlier with Bitmart. So now ask yourself, what small step can I take today to start exploring this space of digital currencies? Day by day, you have to take steps, whether from savings to investments. It's all left to you. Thank you very much. I'm going to hand over to Aisha now to help us with our sports analyst. Tell us more of what a sports analyst is and many more. Aisha.
And yeah, please give me a minute. Okay. Hello everyone, and yeah, thank you very much, Clinton, for going through everything that's what digital currencies are all about. Of course, I had an amazing time, and I'm sure that we did as well. Because at the start of the session, there was something I mentioned, there was something I said, and what was that? Digital currencies, talking about crypto, forex, virtual assets. It's not just about having a place where you go to invest and expecting to get a certain kind of return. Yes, that's what it is, but it's a whole lot more than that. It's a tech skill. So if you're looking to be a forex analyst or you're looking to be a sport analyst and you don't have the skill, you don't know how to work with the tools, then you're actually setting yourself up for failure. That's the reason why we started Clino once again. And so, but we have to understand, you have to understand, because now you've heard about digital currency, you know what digital currency is all about, and what it is, how you can get started. But you might want to know, why then should you get started? What's the benefit of you getting into the space? What's the benefit of you transitioning from what you're doing at the moment into something better, into getting that passive stream of income that so many of us are looking to also get into, that so many of us are looking forward to? And I can always say there's so many things I could mention. There's so many things I can talk about. But first thing I would talk about, that first and foremost, is the Investment and Securities Act. For many of us on the call, we've probably heard of the ISA Act 2025. It was revised in March 30th to 31st, if I'm not mistaken. And before March 30th, the last time this act was actually revised was in 2007. Now, what does the Investment and Securities Act talk about? It talks about the investment laws, okay, investment laws, finance laws, and it's controlled by the SEC. Okay, so just in March, that's March, just here, just talking about a couple of weeks ago, just last month, the end of last month, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I'm talking about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he actually revised the law and signed the new act into law. Okay, and this act talks about so many things. For example, the fact that Ponzi schemes, it's now very, very unlawful, and that there's a stiff penalty for those that actually run Ponzi schemes. For example, the CBEX guys now, so the government is going to be actively fishing them out. So that's one of them, and a couple of other things. But what I would want us to focus on, what I feel is of most interest for those of us on the call, is take a look at this. Okay, so you see that it says for the first time, actually, Nigeria's legally recognized virtual stroke digital assets like cryptocurrencies as securities. But for a while, we really did not know where the Nigerian government stood when it came to virtual assets. Is crypto a crime or is it not a crime? Tit for tat? We really did not know. But what this act has now told us is that the Nigerian government now actually recognizes cryptocurrencies, and that if you are actually in the space, that you can actually have exchanges now registered with the Nigerian government. That is the situation. And the reason for this was that the government saw that there's actually a lot to gain from legalizing crypto. Crypto was never at law, but there were just some stringent measures put in place. And right now, those measures, I'd say, have been lifted. So many of the Nigerian government want to ensure that they are not out of that they are currently in tune with the rest of the world that are currently trying to be one with crypto, ensuring that they have different crypto and not just crypto, but virtual assets in general. And they have different virtual asset laws protecting the people that are investing and making sure that more investors also come into the economy. So this was also done by the Nigerian government. And if you had told me at the start of the year, or you've told me at last year, 2 years ago, that there's going to be a time where crypto is going to be signed into law by the Nigerian government, I'm actually going to tell you, you're kidding, right? And you probably have said such as well. So, but now that's not the case, as you can see from the screen. And this is a publicly available fact. If you could, this news was carried by, you can check out the Nigerian government. Okay, you can check out the Nigerian government. You can check out the government websites, that's the FG website. You can check out the newspapers from the Premium to the Punch to Vanguard. This news was all over. So it's not something that's just limited to Kleiner alone. And if you want to read the report, ensure you fill the form that is going to be sent to the chat box by my colleague. So once you fill that form, it's going to once you fill that form, you get access to the slides and the recording and all of that. So you can come over here, click on this link for you to read the entire act. That's the ISA Act 2025, for you to understand what you'll be benefiting from. Because again, this is a major milestone when it comes to virtual assets in Nigeria. And if maybe you were previously on the fence, should I become a forex analyst? Should I become a crypto analyst? And you didn't know what to do. Should I move to the left? Should I move to the right? Well, this just told you that you should move to that path that you actually thought out for yourself, looking to get another stream of income and understanding crypto the right way, understanding forex the right way. But what are the risks? Again, we have to be very factual. What are the risks when it comes to virtual assets? I usually love to talk about the different kinds of investments because, of course, when you get into crypto, when you get into forex, okay, as a forex analyst, as a sports analyst actually means a crypto analyst, okay. So when you get into this, you are actually investing, and just like every investment, there is a risk factor involved. There are three kinds of investment. You have the conservative risks, you have the conservative risks, the moderate risks, and the aggressive risks. The conservative being risks that for you to get returns from your money, you have to spend a lot of time, and the chance of you losing your money is next to zero. So it's low. An example of conservative risks is your real estate. Okay, your real estate is an example of conservative risks, where when you buy land, the chance of you losing your money is very, very small, except if maybe you bought land in a place that's susceptible to environmental damages, such as erosion or gullies and all of those kind of things. And of course, you know that the money, instead of your land to be appreciating, it's depreciating. Okay, but for you to get returns from your land, you know you're going to have to spend a lot of time. Yes, okay, for you to get returns from your land. Another kind of conservative investment are things like your mutual funds, depending on the mutual funds you're going for, of course, where you can go ahead to, let's say, in a year you can get 20% of your returns in a year of your deposits in a year. That's buying mutual funds, and of course, mutual funds it's legalized by the government. It's part of the entire FGN ecosystem and all of that. So that's another example. And then you have the aggressive. The aggressive, which means that it's very, very that you can make a lot of money in a short time, but the chance of you losing your money is also very, very high. And then you have the moderate, which falls just between both of them. So when it comes to forex, when it comes to crypto, you actually have increased profit. It leverages increased profits. That means that there's a chance that you make a lot of money, but there's also a chance that you can also lose a lot of money. Okay, that's the situation. So prices fluctuate, and wrong trades can lead to losses, which I've talked about. And most importantly, forex isn't a get quick rich scheme. It requires learning an experience. So you have to have that learn. You have to know the skills. You have to have learn. You have to have that experience as well. Okay, but so what are the 6-step strategy? What then, since I've talked about all of those things, what then is going to help you succeed? Or is it just going to be go learn the skills and then if you make money, you make money. If you don't make money, you don't make money? Is that the situation? No, that's not the situation. At Kleinel, what we call success is when we've been able to help you achieve your goals. What we call success is when we've been able to help you achieve your dreams. And we have a working formula that makes things work. Looking at the people that we've been able to help transition, and when I say transition, I mean get the skills and have a passive income, and how we can help you as well. And what works is the 6-step strategy. That's the 6-step strategy that will help you succeed in trading digital assets, where the first thing you have to do is you need to identify the path for you. That's the very first thing you have to do. You have to identify the path for you. That means, do you want to be a Forex analyst, or do you want to be a sports analyst? Because they are actually two different things. So you have to know, do I want to be a Forex analyst, or do I want to be a sports analyst? And that's the reason why we're having this conversation right now. So once you've been able to identify the path, the next thing for you is that you learn the skills. And when I say learn the skills, I mean learn the skills the right way. Because again, crypto and Forex, it's a tech skill. It's tech. So there are so many tools that you need to learn. There are so many things that you have to use. Okay. So how do you learn? You learn where you have like a Google Classroom, where you have your materials, your recording. Of course, you have lifetime access to the recordings, right? So you have the materials, the recordings in the Google Classroom that you can always refer to. And then, of course, you have your classes where you are on a call like this, not a Telegram call or a WhatsApp call, no, but that you're on a call like this with the facilitator speaking. You are learning, you are asking questions, you are learning the skills, and you're becoming an expert. Learning the right way, learning just like you are in a classroom, understanding the skills, knowing how to work with the tools. So that's the second thing you have to do. You have to learn the skills. And then, of course, you move into what? The practice simulations. Practice simulations where you are actually practicing what it means to be a Forex analyst. I'm going to put it this way. Okay, let's put it this way. You know your bike. Okay, so you know your bike. When I say your bike, I'm talking about your bicycle. So when you start, for kids now, for those of us that have kids, so you probably know what I'm talking about, right? So for kids, when you have a kid and you get a bike for your kid, the bike usually has training wheels. Okay, so the bike has training wheels. That's a bicycle. It has training wheels on the back, so that while riding, the kid doesn't fall. Okay, so your child doesn't fall. So it has training wheels. And then after some time, you take off the training wheels, and they can ride with just 2 wheels without the training wheels any longer. So when you had the training wheels on that bike, that was the practice simulation. You are actually practicing without the training wheels so that you cannot fall. Because when you fall, it's like risks, like you're losing money. So you fall and then you injure yourself. That's you lost money. So you have to practice before you have the confidence to be able to ride on 2 wheels alone. Now, using this analogy I just gave and tying it back to Forex, tying it back to sports, tying it back to crypto, what do I mean? What am I talking about? After learning the skills, you have to also be able to practice with your training wheels. You have to also be able to practice in a way that even when you fall, you don't get hurt. You have to also be able to practice even in a way that you have no risks attached to you. Where you are working with tools, you're actually trading. You're trading. Let's say you went for the Forex analyst course. So you're actually trading, but you are using what I like to call virtual currencies, like dummy currencies, where you are trading using the market reality. So you've gone to your tools, you've analyzed, and then you're testing things out. You said that, oh, the euro is going to increase, or this is going to increase. And then after you locked in your trade, if there is an increase, maybe you actually got your trade right, you are not going to get any profit because, of course, it's a practice simulation. And if you actually did not get the trade right, that you were supposed to make losses, you are still not going to be making losses because it is a practice simulation. So many people don't think about that. They just learn and they get into the market, lose a lot of money, and they're back to square one. But that's not what you should be doing. you should be taking things the right way. Hence the reason why practice simulations are very, very important. And then you have the trade psychology and risk mastery, because for you to actually succeed as a forex analyst or as a spot analyst, you need to have the trading psychology and risk mastery. We are able to have one-on-one sessions with experts, to live trading analysis, to navigating financial investments, and also mentorship. This would help provide you with that other 50% in addition to the technical skills that you'll be getting. And you also want to also be in a good community, a community that makes sense, a community that has similar goals to yours, a community of like-minded individuals, and not one of people just posting pictures of signals or posting pictures of their new cars, or the kind of communities you find on Telegram. So you don't want to be a part of that. You want to be a part of a community of people that also have a 9 to 5 like you, people that also have kids like you, people that are also trying to get that other stream of passive income like you, people that are committed to ensuring that everyone achieves success like you. You want to be in the community that makes sense. And then your portfolio. At Kleiniel, something we believe, something that is also very, very important for you to succeed as a trade, for you to succeed in trading. Because again, this is a 6-step strategy. You want to have a balanced portfolio. And what is your balanced portfolio? You don't want to put all of your money in savings, number one. And you don't want to put all of your money in forex or all of your money in crypto. And so what we do is that we bring in financial experts. I'm talking about people like investment bankers, people like financial advisors, people that actually have the license to advise you on what you can do. So they tell you things like, and this is just what works for me. So this, you don't have to do this, okay? But so they tell things like your savings. Of course, you want to save, right? But you don't want to place all your money in savings because of inflation. When you save your money, and you save your money for 1 year, 2 years, your money is actually decreasing, not increasing. But you want to still save. So let's say for your income maybe 50% goes into your wants and your needs, or maybe 20% depending on how you live, right? Or 5%, okay? Yeah, 5% is also depending on how you live. Your wants, your needs. So let's say you put in 20%, or you put in 50%, and then you can put in 20% to savings. That's your normal savings, your bank, because you want to have savings. When people say don't save, don't save. Yeah, don't save all of your money, but still save. Saving is important. So you want to have savings, and then you want to put, let's say, 10% into your high yield interest account. Your high yield savings account could be an account for maybe emergencies or something, and then maybe you want to put a 5% into things like conservative investments, such as your mutual funds or your investment paper, or maybe some kind of investment, or maybe you want to put it in a separate account or invest in the S&P 500 or your RIA if you're in the US. Okay, but of course Nigeria also has its equivalent for you to save for retirement, because everyone is going to retire at some point. So you want to have a nice place where you are putting money that is growing over time, for let's say maybe grows for 20 years, 25 years. So when you retire, you have a nice stash for your retirement. Okay, that's very important. And then the last 10% can now go into your forex and your crypto for getting your extra income. And of course, when you probably start succeeding there, you can increase the budget. So you want to have a balanced portfolio, not a portfolio where all your money is going into savings, or your money is going into this particular section. So that's very, very important, the portfolio. And then, of course, all of these things put together is what will now make you an expert. As that's what will now make you get another stream of income. That's how it goes. Okay, that's how it goes. So, but you have to also understand, who is a forex analyst? Okay, what does it mean? Who is a forex analyst? Because you want to get into forex, you are interested in crypto, you're interested in making money. That's the reason why you're part of Kleiner right now. But you have to understand, who is a forex analyst? What does a forex analyst do? A forex analyst is just like your weather forecaster. You know the weather forecaster? Weather forecasters are scientists that tell you about the weather. So tomorrow is going to rain, or it's not going to rain, it's going to be windy, okay? Or it's not going to be windy. Il fait de la pluie, if you speak French, okay? So those kind of stuff. That's what the weather forecaster actually does. That's what the weather forecaster actually does. But the weather forecaster is a scientist. The people you see in the news telling you about the weather. Those are not forecasters, those are newscasters. The weather forecaster actually does research, probably using different tools, probably you could use a rain gauge to gauge the humidity of the atmosphere, trap some rain, and then take that rain to the lab to analyze what the weather is going to look like the next day, those kind of stuff. So just like the weather forecaster, we carry out predictions, use scientific tools to make a prediction of what the weather is going to be like tomorrow. That's the same thing a forex analyst does. A forex analyst also works with different kind of tools, different kind of predictions, different kind of analysis. Okay, not just go to bed and then you wake up and say, I feel this one's going to happen to the markets. No, there's a lot of things that you need to do. Just like the weather forecaster, we need to do lots of research to be able to tell what the weather is going to look like tomorrow. That's the same case for the forex analyst. So, but just like the weather forecaster, the forex analyst is a forecaster, but for currency markets. So the weather forecaster would say it's going to rain tomorrow. The forex analyst would say dollar is going to go up, or euro is going to go up, or we're going to have euro climb against the dollar, or the yen is going to climb against the naira, just like that. So that's what the forex analyst does. And based on that, the forex analyst can, of course, lock in that trade and make some money. So for a forex analyst to actually succeed, or the different things that the forex analyst does is, number one, study the market. So by studying the market, they can check dollar-related currency pairs like, oh, what's the euro going to be like against the dollar? Is dollar going to go up against euro tomorrow? Or is euro going to go up against the dollar? Those kind of stuff, or the pound against the dollar, to see price movements, right? So they study the market. They carry out technical analysis whereby they study charts and patterns to understand what is going to happen for this currency pair, what's going to happen, technical analysis. So it's not just, oh, you just get the market and then you buy coin, or you say this one. No, that's not what crypto, that's not what forex is all about. You can see it's a whole lot more than that. If you want to succeed, if you actually want to be someone that's making money from this, and not just someone that has an app on their phone that they're using to trade and they're just losing money, right? So you have the technical analysis whereby you're looking at charts, like I said, you spot patterns and to understand what's going to happen to the market, and then you have predicting an opportunity. After studying the market, which of course I could say your fundamental analysis, you have to your technical analysis as well. You then predict the market. So what's going to happen? Are we going to have USD rise against local currencies, or is are we going to have the rupee rise against the dollar? All of the world currencies. Okay, and then you go ahead to trade. That's what a forex analyst does. A forex analyst is like a weather forecaster, but a forecaster for currency markets. So if maybe everything I've been saying so far you don't understand, just remember this. The forex analyst is a forecaster like the weather forecaster, but for currency markets. Predict if a currency is going to go up or if it's going to go down. Easy. Okay? Easy. So this is just an explanation, a build up on everything I've said, whereby you could take a look, whereby a forex analyst could identify that we are actually could see or listen in the news that there's recession. For example, let's say there's recession. And when there's recession, what happens? When there's recession, a government will look to increasing interest rate. And based on the increase of that interest rate, the forex analyst would then say, oh, the government is about to increase interest rate because we're in recession. Let me study the market and see if this is actually going to happen. So after the forex analyst has studied the market, oh, this is going to happen or it's not going to happen, then they use technical analysis to take a look at the chart, the patterns, what the currency movement is going to look like, and then make predictions on what will happen in the market for them to be able to lock in their trade. Okay, so that's for the forex analyst. For you to be a forex analyst, things that you need to know, things that you need to do. You need to understand certain concepts such as your MT4 integration and migration. That's how to work with your MT4. The technical, fundamental, and sentimental analysis. You have to understand your candlestick and chart patterns. You have to understand your advanced trading strategies, your time frames and confluence, your Fibonacci levels, all of these things. You have to understand. Again, it's not just download an app and start trading. No, you have to understand all of this concept because it is a tech skill. The tools that you'll be working with, tools like your Trading View, your MT4, your MT5, your Mexi Global, your Forex Factory, all of these tools are tools that you'll be learning, tools that you would learn to be a Forex analyst. And the learning timeline is for 2 months, where you get to learn for 1 month. You have 1 month of learning and 1 month of mentorship. So you learn for 1 month and then you are mentored for 1 month to ensure that you are actually able to succeed in the market. And the training times, it's on Saturdays and Sundays. So Saturdays classes are from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and on Sundays from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. West African time, where you get to learn how to work with all of these tools, understand the concept, and train to become an expert forex analyst. Okay, and just like a forex analyst, you also have the sports analyst. There are two different things. You have the forex analyst, you have the sports analyst. The forex analyst, like I've talked about that. The sports analyst is actually your crypto analyst. You hear about crypto traders. That is the sports analyst. And just like the forex analyst, the sports analyst is it's like into a gold trader. But a gold trader who studies market trends to determine when to either buy or sell physical gold. Just like a gold trader. What will your gold trader do? The gold trader would take a look at the gold market. The market, gold is currently selling at this amount. So I'm going to buy. I'll buy gold now. So when it has increased in price, then I will sell and then I'll make profits. So that's what a sports crypto analyst does. But a sports crypto analyst does that for cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and so many more. And for you to be a crypto analyst, you also have to have good knowledge of market research, know how to conduct market research, know how to carry out technical analysis, know how to carry out fundamental analysis, and of course, you have to have a good grasp of risk management. Very, very important. And for you to be a sports analyst, the things that you need to know, the things you need to learn, you have to have an understanding of introduction to sports trading, then sports trading, and when I say sports, I mean crypto, of course. Introduction to sports trading on centralized exchange, trading on decentralized exchange. You have to understand your staking, your yield finance, your narrative research, how you can trade stocks, all of those things, a lot. So if you don't have a knowledge of all of this, so you call yourself a crypto trader, you are not a crypto trader. You're someone who is just making a gamble. Okay, you're just trying to say, oh, I hope this coin goes up, and you buy, it doesn't go up, you lose money. So you have to understand these things for you to be able to make accurate predictions. And then the tools you'll be learning, the tools you'll be working with are tools like your CoinGecko, your Dex Screener. Of course, you have to learn your Binance, which is like your traditional crypto exchange. Then you have your XNES, your CoinMarketCap, and also your Bamboo, which you learn for your stocks trading. Then you have your learning timeline. The learning timeline is also similar to that of the forex analyst, where you have a 2 months learning, where you have 2 months of learning, 1 month of intensive learning and 1 month of internship. Okay, 1 month of coming to classes, learning, and then you have 1 month of internship. With the class times also similar, with classes on Saturdays from 11 to 2 p.m. West African time, and on Sundays from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. West African time. Similar class times as that of the forex analyst. So in addition to all of these things, when you've learned the skills, how then are we going to help you to succeed? I talked about the 6-step strategy earlier, but aside the 6-step strategy, what else are we going to do? Is it just that you are going to learn the skills? Okay, so we've taught you all of these skills that I mentioned earlier, how to work with those tools I've mentioned earlier, like the trading view, the Mexi Global, all of those tools, because you need to know how to work with those tools if you want to trade. It's not just downloading Binance in your phone and buying coins. Again, that's not it. It's a lot more than that. So you've learned the skills. You've got to the technical skills. Is that enough to help you succeed? Is that enough to help you be able to achieve your goal of getting that other stream of income by the side? Okay, that other stream of income where you're making money, you also have your 9 to 5, you're bringing in money, you have a passive stream of income, which everybody wants. So is that enough? No, it is not enough. Knowing the skills is not enough for you to succeed. For you to succeed, you have to complete the success equation. And I'm talking about the technical skills plus your trading psychology and risk mastery. For you to succeed as a forex analyst or as a sports analyst, you need to complete the equation. 50% is your technical skills. But if you only have the first 50% and you don't have the second 50%, you are going to not succeed because you have not completed your equation. It's just like saying 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, but you're trying to say 1 is equal to 2 without the other plus 1. So you also need your trading psychology and risk mastery, and that is what will give you success. So that is the reason why at Kleinel, in addition to the technical skills that you'll learn, that's a given. You're going to learn the skills. You're going to know how to make those predictions. Other things that you're going to be getting from you have your one-on-one session with experts. One-on-one session with experts. This is where you get to book a session. And when I say one-on-one, I mean one-on-one. So you have that private session where you can talk to the experts. Okay, so this is what I'm going through. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. What do you advise? Because we know that sometimes you might just be caught between two roads and you just want someone to give you advice to guide you on what you should do. So that's the one-on-one session with experts. Then you also have your live trading analysis. Live trading analysis, this is a session, or these are sessions because it's not just one, where you are in the session, okay, with the facilitator, and the facilitator is taking you through their trading. So they are trading live, okay? But it's not a session where you are just listening and you are doing as I do, do as I do. No, it's a whole lot more than that. You are actually asking questions, you're sharing ideas, because the facilitator would say, okay, so this is the trade I want to lock in, because I saw in the news that the US is currently in a recession, and I think due to the fact that in a recession, we're going to have a decrease in dollar. So we're going to have a decrease in the strength of the dollar. And then I think I should say I'm going to predict that dollar is going to go down against the euro, against all of that. And then you can, maybe there's something else you notice in the market, and you're like, oh yeah, I heard about the recession, but I also saw that the Bank of America, that's Central Bank of Nigeria, the Bank of America is actually about to increase interest rates by a whopping 12%. And I feel that increase in interest rate is going to lead to an increase in the price of dollars. Because by increasing interest rates, what governments are doing is that by increasing interest rates, they are actually trying to prevent people from borrowing, thereby actually strengthening that currency by reducing the amount of money. Anyways, we'll get into that. We get into all of that analysis. You get to understand. So that's what you learn by in the course, right? So you talk about this. The facilitator also mentions what I said and what they saw, and then both of you can come to a conclusion on what you think is the best course of action to take before you lock in that trade. And in addition to the live trading analysis, you have the navigating financial investments. These are sessions where we bring in experts, financial experts, and they get to advise you on ways that you can navigate financial investments, different kind of investment that you can go into, different kind of investment you can go into, from conservative investments to moderate to aggressive investments, from investments with the Nigerian government. There's so many investments, people. People don't know that there are so many. And I'm not even talking about risky investment. I'm talking about investment that you can also go into, and you can, let's say maybe you have 200 million. Okay, you have 200 million. Something you could do, you could invest in investment papers, or you could invest in something like the mutual funds, whereby you're getting a certain return at the end of the year, in addition to your 200 million, which of course all of this is licensed by the Nigerian government, right? And so you get to learn all of these things, and of course how you can also best navigate into the crypto and forex market, how you can best invest in all of this markets. So that's what the session also offers you, navigating financial investment. You'll be speaking with finance experts. I'm talking about industry leaders, people that have worked in banks, people that are actually guiding companies on the right way that they should invest their money. Joining sessions telling you about the right way you can invest your money, where you can have a balanced portfolio, so all your money is not in the bank, because money in the bank does not grow. So that's navigating financial investment. And then something else that you'll be getting as well is the market rundown. The market rundown, where maybe that week you were so busy, work has been hectic, and you've not been able to follow the markets. This is a session where we tell you about what happened that week in the market, so you can make your own, lock in your own trades, or decide on whatever you want to do. So we take a look at the markets for you, and during that session, we just have a series of events and tell you, okay, this is what's happened in this country, this is what's happened in this country. So just in case you were not able to follow up on the news yourself. And then, of course, you have the alumni community, a community that makes sense, whereby as soon as you've gone through all of these things, you join a community of like-minded individuals, people that are looking to also achieve what you are looking to achieve. And of course, you have lifetime access to your materials, you have lifetime access to the facilitators. So we're not just saying, oh, after the 2 months, you are done with Kleiner. No, no, and no. So that's about it. And our next cohort is actually beginning on June 6th, that's the 6th of June. And for you to be a part of this cohort, all you need to do is register. Easiest that, okay? And the registration fee for either the sports analyst or the forex analyst program is 50,000 naira. But at the moment, we are currently running a discount for the first 20 people to register, only for the first 20 people to register. If you are part of that, the first 20, you get to be a part of the early bird discount. Okay, so if you get that 20% off, you get to pay 40,000 naira instead. You get to pay what? 40,000 naira instead. And the discount is only for the first 20 persons, and the new cohort begins on the on the 6th of June. So my colleague is going to send the payment link to the payment link to the chat box. So I'm also going to show you what that link looks like. So once you go ahead to, just give me a moment. Okay, so once you go ahead to click on that link, it's going to bring you over to the Kleiner enrollment page. Okay, it's going to bring you over to the Kleiner enrollment hub, and this is where you can go ahead to make payment. So that's the link. So once you click on that link, we bring you to the Kleiner registration hub. And over here, what you see is that you can chat with Kleiner. So maybe you're having an issue, you're trying to make payment, you run into an issue. So you can reach out to us. You can just click on that, and there's someone on the back end to respond to you. And over here, you can get access to our program brochures, where you get to see what you're going to be getting in all of our programs from point A to point C across the Forex Analyst program or across the Sports Analyst program. So you can click on get access to our program brochures for you to get access to all of these things. Okay, so very, very important. And as you can see, the just give me a moment. Okay, so as you can see, the discount is currently running. The discount is currently running. You can see it's still running. So once you want to make payment, you just scroll down here and then you click on Visit Store. Okay, so you click on Visit Store. And this will bring you over to this page. To bring you over to this page where you can see the Sports Analyst program, consider the discount is still running, and then you have the Forex Analyst. So let's say you want to register for the Forex Analyst program, or you want to register for Spot, any of them really. So let's say you want to go for the Forex Analyst program. All you need to do is you select Forex Analyst, and then it brings you over to this point where you can see secure your seat. Okay, you see secure your seat, and then you can click on secure your seat. So over here, you insert your name, you set your email address, okay, all of this, and let's say your phone number as well. So you can insert, I'm just going to insert a random phone number. Okay, so I'll insert a random phone number, and then you click on pay for products. Okay, you click on pay for products. So over here, you can see it's asking me for my payment method if I want to pay with my credit or debit card. So I can click on these to pay. And then this loads up. So over here, I can insert my card details if I want to pay with my card, or I can make it direct transfer if I want to, pay with transfer. So that's how you make payments. As soon as you make payments, you're going to get an email that will be sent to you with your receipt, also attached with a link telling you to click on that link to complete registration. So you can either click on that link, or you can come back to the Kleiner registration hub and click on upload your receipt here. So by clicking on upload your receipt here, it opens up a form where you fill in your details, you upload your receipt, and as soon as you submit, you get a confirmation email from us confirming your payment, in addition to your program kits that contains everything you need to be a part of the program, from things like the link to join the Go Classroom, to the community, to also videos on how you can install the tools that you're going to be working with, and also how you can get signed up on the some of the applications that you'll be working with. So you begin your class. So that's about it. And of course, it's the discount again is only for the first 20 people to register. So I'll be taking questions now. If you have a question, you can just use the written icon to ask a question, and I'll call on you to ask a question. Okay, but if no questions, that's fine. If you have any question at any time, you can also just send your question to the community, or you can send your question directly to any of the admins in the Kleiner Web3 community. Okay, so thank you, everyone. Again, ensure you go ahead to register as quickly as you can. I don't think anyone has a question. Okay, yeah, so no one has a question. All right, then, great. So ensure you register as quickly as you can so you're part of the discount and you don't end up paying the full amount. Until then, quick says the clock. Whatever you have to do, do ensure you do quick. Cheers, everyone.